What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is healthy and well today. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, we'll be reacting to Autobahn rules explained. I guess basically the rules of the Autobahn, how to drive on the Autobahn, learning the German driving rules, and I'm guessing some of the road signs. I believe some of the road signs as well. Shout out to Definitely German. Original video link will be down below in the description. Let's jump right into this, man. It's really caught my attention. Highly recommended.
Hallo zusammen. So the other day, my mother and I helped my good friend Nina moving out of her flat in Lichtenau in North Rhine-Westphalia. And on the way back, I decided to film our ride on the German Autobahn a little bit. I know that many of you guys are interested in and fascinated by the German highway
Seriously,
system,
I am.
how it works, what's the deal with speed limits, and the like. This video does not only show us driving on the Autobahn, but I also explain common road signs and traffic rules. Alright, let's go.
Hey.
Or drive for it.
Hey, like I said last video pertaining to the Autobahn, if I get pulled over in the United States, I'm lying, bro. I'm making an excuse and I'm telling the officer, I'm sorry, I just came back from Germany. Was driving on the Autobahn for 3-4 weeks, man. We've been out there just touring it, and I've been traveling this and that. I got used to it out there. You know what I'm saying? What he gonna do? What he gonna do? Check me? How he gonna check? You know what I'm saying? He don't know me. I'm gonna straight up tell him I was driving on the Autobahn. He gonna look it up. Be like, oh, the speed limit out there is wicked. You know what I'm saying? You think he'll let me off the hook? I'm gonna do it, but I don't be
Every Fahrt, meaning every ride on the Autobahn, begins before actually being on the Autobahn, of course. And no, I wasn't talking about farts, although it sounds very similar to die Fahrt, I gotta admit that. And, well, apparently Lichtenau is quite a village in a way, because why not? Everyone should drive to the local supermarket in a golf cart. Anyway, right now we're driving on a Landstraße, a country road so to speak. Take me home. Well, we're taking ourselves home, so don't worry. There are loads of Landstraßen in all parts of Germany, and they usually connect cities and regions. They don't belong to a city though, so you're usually allowed to drive faster than 50 kilometers per hour. On a Landstraße, the maximum allowed speed is 100 kilometers per hour, as long as it's not limited otherwise, for instance to 70 kilometers per hour, which is another very common allowed speed limit on Landstraßen. Okay. The next Autobahn entrance, die Autobahnauffahrt, is indicated on several signs as well. Blue is a typical color for Autobahn-related information.
So blue, I'm gonna start looking out for blue. Blue is that color. It signifies. That's really a tongue twister word for me. Why? Signify. Why? Yo, I guess it's just me.
Now, we're right in front of the Auffahrt onto the Autobahn 44, the A44, die Autobahn 44, or as a short form, the A44. Because technically, there's not only one Autobahn in Germany, but a lot of them. We refer to them by saying A and an additional number. In order not to become a Geisterfahrer, a ghost rider so to speak, these things can really save lives. So make sure to stay on this lane, therefore.
You don't know how many times I've seen people driving on the opposite side of the road. Another car come off of the Autobahn, you getting smacked. Insurance is gonna look at you like, man, you dummy. Y'all gotta read the signs, man.
The lane you're driving on when you're right about to enter the actual part of the Autobahn is called der Einfädelungsstreifen. It's important to increase your speed on this lane before entering the actual Autobahn. The Verkehr, the traffic that's already driving on the Autobahn, has die Vorfahrt, by the way, the right of way or priority.
Alright.
This orange pillar you're seeing here can come in quite handy in an emergency case in which your own phone might not work, for instance. This is called a Notrufsäule, an emergency call pillar. That's the literal translation. It's basically a public emergency phone. These orange phones are spread every 2 kilometers across the Autobahn, and in total there are over 17,000 emergency phones on over 13,000 kilometers on the German Autobahn. When you're suffering a Panne, a breakdown, or an Unfall, an accident on the Autobahn, it's important to wear your Warnweste, your high visibility vest, and also to set up your Warndreieck, your breakdown triangle.
Wait, a vest? Huh? I gotta have a vest? As a driver, I have to have a vest? Or let me hear that one more. I gotta have a vest? Or can I get fined? Can I get a ticket for that? As a driver, I have to... Wait.
An accident on the Autobahn, it's important to wear a Panne, a breakdown, or an Unfall, an accident on the Autobahn, it's important to wear your Warnweste, your high visibility vest.
No. I want to see if you said a driver or...
1,000 emergency phones on over 13,000 kilometers on the German Autobahn. When you're suffering a Panne, a breakdown, or an Unfall, an accident on the Autobahn, it's important to...
When you are suffering such as such. Oh my gosh. Wait. You would get a ticket. You would get fined if you left your vest at home, but just leave it in the car at that point. Knowing me, I'll be picking my sister up from school without the slip. That's another thing. Why y'all letting me get my sister from school when I ain't even got the pickup slip? She just walked straight outside. Man, wait a minute. So there's certain things. Okay, we're going to have to go in depth with this. There are certain things you need within your vehicle, I'm guessing. And a vest is one of them. In case of times for emergencies and accidents, times you're on the shoulder, need to pull over this, that, especially at nighttime, and there's no lights. I don't see no lights. I see windmills. I see a sign. I don't see road, cars, trees. No lights. So that's to really help you out as well. Are they going to say you should keep a flashlight as well in your car? Like, do they do random vehicle checks or inspections? Like, stop you in the middle of the road? Like how Australia does? Like, random breathalyzer checks and all that too? Please let me know. But in this case, like, are they specifically inspecting your vehicle just to do like a traffic stop and see what you got on you? Are you responsible? Do you have the proper stuff you need as a driver in your car? That's really cool though, because it kind of forces people to be prepared. Man, I'll be stuck on the Autobahn, and I ain't got no flashlight. I got to use my phone. Here we go, relying on electronics. Once again, you need a flashlight. That flashlight is way brighter than a phone.
Wear your Warnweste, your high visibility vest, and also to set up your Warndreieck, your breakdown triangle, 150 to 400 meters away.
Breakdown triangle? German driving tips. Like, this is for pedestrians. This is for the civilians of Germany. Oh. You gotta have the cone as well? Man, y'all do things differently out there. Seriously. This is why I like making these reactions. Y'all do things differently. We don't need nothing in our vehicle. What? Man.
In front of your breakdown location. It's mandatory to always have such a vest and triangle in your car, by the way. These little blue signs often get overlooked, and in normal traffic they aren't that important to drivers anyway. The number they show is the respective length of the Autobahn up until this point, pretty much. And this information could come in very handy when you're actually having a Panne, a car breakdown, and in order to get help from a Pannenservice, a car breakdown service, so to speak, you might have to explain where you are on the Autobahn.
Facts. Especially, like, what if people are running short? They're running low, man, on the petrol. What's gonna happen? Wait a minute, that's kind of scary because, like, hold on. I'm gonna play the video because as of right now, I don't see nowhere where you could pull over.
On the German Autobahn, there's a Richtgeschwindigkeit, a recommended or target speed of 130 kilometers per hour. Yes, it's also true though that there are certain parts of the Autobahn without a speed limit, but
never mind. It's right here. We just need. That's why I said let me play the video, let it open up. The shoulder will come eventually. So excuse me, guys.
This isn't the case for the Autobahn as a whole. In fact, there are many parts with a speed limit.
Why my videos keep... Oh, when I click out of it.
Changing lanes is only allowed when there is a gestrichelte Linie, a broken or dashed line, by the way. Otherwise, you have to remain on your respective lane. Rhyme. For the most part, this Autobahn, the A44, features 2 Fahrbahnen, 2 lanes. You're only allowed to überholen, to overtake cars on the left lane though. From the A44, which we're driving on right now, we could also decide to change onto the A33 to Bielefeld. That would mean we had to exit this Autobahn and enter the A33. We're gonna stay on the A44 to Dortmund though. And it's actually pretty difficult to pronounce things in an English way when there are German words in between. The green E331 refers to an Europastraße. There are many European roads that often lead through and connect many different European countries. In this case though, the E331 only leads through Germany, and it bridges the distances between the towns of Dortmund and Kassel. Parts of the E331 are identical with the A44, by the way. Yeah, it's really showing a deer. Das Reh. This icon represents German.
I got them issues too, huh? At least y'all got signs. Out here, man, you gotta just be a regular. You gotta be a local and just know. Be careful. This area right here got the deers. Notorious for deers.
Game and beasts, meaning wild animals. This is a Gefahrenzeichen, a danger sign, which is not only indicated by the color combination, but also by the triangular shape. It warns of something. In this case, you have to be extra careful because there is a chance that deer or other wild animals might cross the road here. Yes, even though it's an Autobahn. There are lots of woods and forest regions in many parts of Germany, and some of them are also close to the Autobahn.
Man, these deers, I tell you, boy. I'm glad they hibernate now since it's winter. I ain't see one yet. I don't want to see them at all. They need to stay away.
These white signs are changing signs, and they don't show anything as long as the Verkehr, the traffic, is normal. But when there's a Stau, a traffic jam, or other obstacles which require additional rules for a certain period of time, signs like this one can turn around and show additional rules or information. For instance, speed limits or a warning of a traffic jam coming up ahead. This sign tells us that there is a Parkplatz in 500 meters, a parking area. These parking areas are useful for taking a break, for going to a toilet, etc.
In the United States, we call that a rest stop. You guys call it a parking area?
For going to a toilet area. These
parking area, yeah. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, why do we call it a rest stop if we're not technically taking naps and going to sleep? Why don't we just call it a parking area? Because we're basically parking our cars and our main objective is to be on the highway driving. Ongoing. It's not like the regular roads with street lights and all that, you know? So why don't we change the name to parking area? That makes so much more sense. You think if I like start a petition or something, they'll make some changes or something? They don't care that much.
As you can see, these parking areas are often used by LKW-Fahrern, by truck drivers, but normal drivers can use them as well, of course. Another bigger variant of a spot like this is called a Raststätte. They usually feature a store for buying food or beverages and a Tankstelle, a gas...
Wait, so they're two different things. They're two different things? You just park your vehicle at a parking area? Wait, at a parking area, you just park your vehicle there and you can rest or chill out? Like stop driving for a second? And that's where like vehicles and trucks stop? But then you have a rest stop like how we do, and that's where like the convenience stores are, basically the restaurants, the food, and then there's like a connected gas station to that part. Wait, am I understanding this correctly? That's really cool though.
Usually feature a store for buying food or beverages and a Tankstelle, a gas station. On the German Autobahn, trucks are driving on the right lane, as long as they don't want to overtake another truck or vehicle, which, to be honest with you, can be quite a pain in the ass for other drivers. We even have an own term for a situation like that. So when a truck overtakes another truck, it's called das Elefantenrennen, the elephant race. In Germany, we have a Rechtsverkehr, a right-hand traffic system. And in addition to that, we also have a Rechtsfahrgebot, an obligation to drive on the right side or on the right lane whenever there's normal traffic or enough space to do so, which means you shouldn't be driving on the left lane all the time. When you're on an Autobahn with 3 lanes, meaning with an additional middle lane, it's technically not forbidden to also remain on the middle lane as long as there's only a couple of cars driving on the right lane. The usual maximum speed for an LKW on the German Autobahn is 80 km per hour.
Yeah, the Autobahn is for me, seriously. We need to up our speed limit.
This blue sign tells us that the
airport.
A44 to Dortmund also leads to the airport Paderborn-Lippstadt. Specific places or spots of interest like this one are usually shown in white and black. Now, if we wanted to drive to Bad Wünnenberg, we would have to change to the right lane in 1000 meters from here, which equals 1 kilometer. The 480 in the orange box indicates that we won't be driving to Bad Wünnenberg on an Autobahn though, but on a Bundesstraße, the B480.
Oh, I like that.
But
and then the color changes. I like that. That's how you determine which highway is what. I like that. So the blue is the Autobahn. The federal highway is yellow. Nice, nice.
Bundesstraße, the B480. A Bundesstraße can but doesn't have to look similar to an Autobahn, and in contrast to a usual Autobahn, a Bundesstraße doesn't necessarily just have to be about rapid or fast traffic with vehicles.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I like the whole color thing with the highways.
Gray signs like this one indicate that certain traffic rules are cancelled from here on. In this case, the Überholverbot, the ban on passing or the no passing zone for vehicles with a higher total weight than 3.5 tons is cancelled. From here on, they are allowed to overtake another vehicle again. The initial road sign that initiated the ban looks like this, by the way. We'll see it in a few minutes as well.
I remember a truck overtook like 6 of us in the left lane.
These signs indicate that an Ausfahrt, an Autobahn exit, is coming up. Each stripe represents 100 meters, and there are always 3 of these signs. In other words, in front of every Ausfahrt you'll always have 3 of these signs with 3, 2 and 1 stripe. In Germany, every Ausfahrt has a specific number. In this case, the very next Ausfahrt is the Ausfahrt 61. An Anschlussstelle, an interchange or connection point like this one, is indicated by a round white circle with a respective number in it.
So, your trucks, they can ride the left lane? Well, technically, I don't know. Because it said you're not supposed to always be driving in the left lane, but could your trucks literally drive the left lane? Let's say for like 20 minutes. Because there was like a truck out here one time coming back from the city and he was flying on the left lane. Flying in the left lane. Mind you, there's vehicles behind him as well. And I'm one of those vehicles. He was already ahead of us before time. He didn't pass us. We just ended up coming behind him, catching up. And he was speeding, flying, kicking them nothing but dirt and rocks and everything and debris at all the cars. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, that's why I feel like trucks should not be going a certain speed on the highway. You stay your ass in the right lane. Word up. Because, like, I tell you, I was pissed. But I was pissed. I had somebody in my passenger seat. I was going close up on the truck and everything. I was catching up too real fast. Man, baby, what? Love my car. He was flying like he lost his mind. No common sense. I'm like, what? I got out the lane and I was getting ready to roll down my window, man. I'm like, he in the truck. We both going fast. I can't say too much. I'm not going to do nothing illegal, but like, I wanted to just talk to him out the window or something. Like, just let him know about his life. Like, what are you doing, bro? You could be cracking multiple windshields right now behind you. What are you doing? No common sense at all. Didn't you learn this? That's my first time ever seeing that in my whole life. I'm like, I thought it was a stolen. I'm serious. No way he had his CDL. I'm like, who gave him that? You know what I'm saying? Then the passenger, I chill. All right. Because we was right here. And then the exit was right here. So it was like, the Lord just be getting me out. Like, he be taking me out of situations, taking me out of trouble. We just, all right, let me hit the exit. Before we be driving for another 45 minutes. Miss the exit, being petty. Yeah, but it really did piss me off. So please let me know. I feel like trucks should, if they go ride the left lane, no, stay in the right lane. Because you got to go a certain speed in the left lane. Now, I don't know how your roads are, but if the roads ain't good, we have a shoulder on the left side. We have a shoulder on the right side as well in the United States. So there's a bunch of debris and dirt and rocks, pebbles, stuff from accidents and stuff getting all kicked up, like car parts and stuff getting kicked up at your car, at your windshield. Man, that's unacceptable. I don't care.
This almost inconspicuous sign with a U and a number refers to an Umleitungsstrecke, a detour track, which, in case of a traffic jam, leads you across a different track, which later ends in the actual Autobahn you were driving on before. Of course, when you're leaving the Autobahn, you have to drive much slower than before, and in this case the maximum allowed speed on the exit lane is 60 km per hour. A little trivia fact. The white and black pillars you're seeing on the right side are placed every 50 meters, which might also help to keep a certain distance to other vehicles in certain situations.
This is an excellent video, man. Seriously. I like how he's going into detail. This is one of them ones.
Obviously, and just to have stated this, these aren't all possible road signs you'll find on the German Autobahn. Of course not. There are quite a few more signs that might appear in general or even more often in certain regions. One of the newest signs most Germans might not even have seen yet is this. It's a new sign that was specifically added for self-driving cars. They are able to determine their exact position with these signs a bit better.
Okay. That's really, whoa. Yo, we have came so far in this world. It is like unbelievable. Like it gets to a point, we really gotta just sit here and think about it. Like, this type of stuff ain't normal. This is like advanced. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. The times we are living in. Am I right? Or am I wrong? It's amazing. It's scary at the same time. You tell me that car know where you at, pinpoint it on the map, know exactly where you at, because it knows how to read that sign. Now that sign has something electronic within it or something, I'm assuming. Or don't tell me it's just like a symbol and something and the car reads it. Man, that's scary. Let me read that. Hold on, let me read that. That's scary.
Newest signs most Germans might not even have seen yet is this. It's a new sign that was specifically added for self-driving cars. They are able to determine their exact position with these signs a bit better.
So what y'all think? It got something electronic within it, or the car is built to understand what the sign is and know, oh, we're here? Is it like a fingerprint, basically? It's the same sign. We got thumbs. We all got a thumb, but the fingerprint is different, yeah? Is that the same with the sign, or am I overthinking it? is it the sign? But the farther you go, different areas and different and this and that, it has like different markings or symbols or patterns that the car could read and be like, okay, we're here now. I don't know. That's the only way I can see that working. Maybe. Please let me know. This is crazy. I ain't never heard about this stuff before. Interesting. No, seriously. I've never heard about this.
This sign warns us of a potentially windy part of the Autobahn.
Oh.
As you will have noticed by now, there are many bushes and trees on each side of the Autobahn.
Right.
And they also help to reduce the amount of wind. Now, before I had my own driver's license, I always wondered what this strange and really simplistic sign means. It actually points to a recommended alternative route. You don't have to drive according to this recommendation, it just points out another possibility. Signs like these are called Hinweisschilder, guide signs.
Guide signs. Okay. See how those trucks.
This sign warns
right.
of nearby air traffic. Be especially careful and brace yourselves for suddenly appearing planes above you, or so.
How close are the planes? He said, brace yourself. How close are they? I wish I had such an experience. That's cool, man. And I'm a driver, guys. You know, I love driving for no reason.
A little funny
especially.
anecdote. Mike Portnoy, the former drummer of the American progressive metal band Dream Theater, has stated that when they were touring in Germany many years ago, he actually thought that Ausfahrt referred to a town, and it would be a pretty massive town therefore, because it appears every few kilometers.
So the first time we toured Germany, I kept seeing this the sign on the highway that said Ausfahrt, and I thought it was the name of a city. And I would see it like every couple miles. I was like, holy shit, this city is huge. How big is Ausfahrt? And then I found out that it means exit.
So where are you from? Well, I'm from a town called Ausfahrt, said nobody ever. And here we have it, a speed limit on the Autobahn. This sign warns of so-called Rollsplit, loose gravel or chippings, which is one of the reasons for this speed limit.
I would never have the opportunity to drive on an Autobahn unless I get a license. I gotta move there. Gotta take the test and everything. Like, you know, that's gonna be difficult. But I would definitely sit passenger.
Whenever there's a traffic jam, you need to leave a Rettungsgasse, a corridor for emergency vehicle access. You always have to leave space between the very left and the other lanes to the right, and it doesn't matter how many lanes there are.
Yeah.
And not only are the Foo Fighters a great band to listen to when you're cruising on the Autobahn, but they also know what's not allowed on it as well. Because there's no way back other than leaving the Autobahn via an official exit lane ahead of you, because turning around, wenden, is not allowed.
Think about them highways, you better not miss it. You better not miss it. You're gonna be driving for another 30 minutes.
These digital signs might also appear here and there. The prohibitions and information they show can vary and change according to the current traffic situation.
I'm like kidding, boy. You get that exit, boy. You gonna be tight.
Every now and then, you'll also see brownish signs like this one. No, they don't lead you to Nazis, but they rather inform you about a certain region, a sightseeing spot, or an interesting location. This one says Nature Resort Arnsberger Wald, for der Wald meaning forest, and Bilsteintal, the Bilstein Valley. At the moment it's barely possible to keep your Windschutzscheibe, your front shield or your windshield clean while driving on the Autobahn, because many mosquitoes are flying around and yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I hope though that this video wasn't a pain in the ass to watch, and if you've enjoyed it, please don't forget to leave a like and to share it with other people. Thanks for doing that in advance and thanks for watching as well. I'm your Vlog Dave, tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Beautiful video, man. Original video link will be down below in the description, guys. Feel free to share your honest thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section on anything you want to include on top of this amazing video brought to us today by definitely German, or just anything you noticed throughout the video, anything you want to educate me on, anything you feel wasn't included. Feel free to add it in the comment section, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications on, share the video and channel to your friends and family members, guys. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we have been growing so fast. And it wouldn't be possible without the love and support from you guys. Seriously. So thank you so much. Feel free to follow the Twitch and check out my other YouTube channels. Well, subscribe to the other YouTube channels in my description of us continuing our education, reacting to other countries, man. Because we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping. And sooner or later, y'all gonna see nothing but a whole bunch of flags around my room. You know? That's me basically making a stamp, checking it off the list. You know, we learn about this country. Y'all gonna see a bunch of flags sooner or later. Watch. I love you all. Stay safe, and I hope to catch you all in the next reaction video. Thank you so much for joining me today to react and learn about Autobahn rules explained to an American guy. This was great.